Good day, everyone, and welcome to this important sharing. It's Management Information System. This is Chadimbana University School of Leadership and Business Management. Management of Information System is one of the important courses normally offered at second year. And today we are going to look at unit number 1. And in unit number 1, we look at what management information system is. We'll go further to discuss the characteristics of MIS or components of MIS. We'll also look at information, qualities of good information. We try to distinguish the old way of managing information versus the modern way of managing information. So let's define what MIS is. Management Information System. So this acronym MIS has 3 key words. One, management, which is the process of actualizing organizational goals and objectives, of course, through people. Then you've got information, which is key in the entire management. They need information for decision making. And you also have system. There are various systems that organizations can deploy to manage information and also facilitate entire management of the organization. So we've got, in management, we've got components of management, which we can say functions of management, which involve planning, controlling, organizing, staffing, motivating, among others. All these are very key. We also have information. Information is it's more like blood. The way blood is to the body, so is information to the organization. So when you talk about information, you're talking about data which is processed, arranged in some sensible order, which can be interpreted and inform the relevant officers. And this information must be controlled. So data may mean all the facts arising out of the operations or the concern. Data is processed or can be processed, recorded, summarized, compared, and finally presented to the management in the form of reports. And these reports may be presented weekly, sometimes daily. You need to give reports, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, as well as yearly or annually. And for you to process this information, store it, retrieve, and communicate, you need some system. So it's important that a vibrant system is put in place. And when we talk about system, we are talking about components that are in charge of the input activities. When you're putting in information to the computer, then also the processing components. Of course, the CPU may be there among other additional systems. Then you also have the output devices that are key in ensuring that information is communicated. Also have storage and retrieval devices that can be used for backups. So let's define what information management of information system is. So in this case, we can define it as a planned system of collecting, storing, disseminating data in the form of information, which is needed to carry out the functions of management. We can also define as the use of information technology, people, and business processes to record, store, and process data to produce information that is decision makers can use to make day-to-day decisions that are needed in the organization. In a nutshell, we can define MIS as a collection of systems, hardware, procedures, people that all work together to process, store, and produce information that is useful to the organization. Now, why do we need management of information system? Why is it necessary? One, to facilitate effective communication within and outside the organization. It's important to manage this information. Information must be on the fingertips, and we need some system to help have that information on our fingertips. Or the click of the button, you've got all the data, well analyzed, presented in graphs, charts, and so forth for easy decision making. We need MIS. Also, record keeping for future use, for future reference, and so forth. We need to keep this information. Files may go missing. Papers and files may fly out, and so forth. But if there is a system put in place and information is in soft copy, we can have backups and we can store that information for years and years and years. So MIS is very cardinal to any organization. Let's take a look at the components of MIS. We've got people in every organization for you to manage information, for you to manage system, for you to actualize organizational goals and objectives. You need people, human resource who are qualified with vast experience, very technical at doing things. You may buy a good system, but if the people that are working on the system are not or are ill qualified, you will not achieve an objective. Meaning we can say the system is as good as the people that are using it. So people, very critical. I need to manage human resource, motivating them, meeting their conditions of service. Then they'll propel the institution to greater heights. Very critical human resource. Another component of MIS is data. You cannot do anything without any input. Data must be there. So data may be obtained from the lower organs of the organization, where they are doing all the operations, the transactions taking place, sales, marketing activities, advertising activities, and whatever, all those recruitment, admissions, and whatever, data is coming in. Then it's processed at some stage, then extract reports. So data is important. It must be flowing into the organization. How many visited the website? How many inquired about this product? How many people did see our adverts? And so forth. That data is needed for decision making. Business procedures. There must be some procedure, some system. Who does what? Assigning of duties. Who does the recording, the storing? Who does the analysis? There must be some procedure. Now, for data to flow in the organization, hardware components of the computer must be there. We're talking about equipment. These include the servers, workstations, networking equipment, printers. When you say networking equipment, you're talking about the routers and all those that can be used to broadcast information. So the hardware components are very critical. Printers, so that you convert hard copies, soft copies into hard copies. Printers are needed. Software, sets of instructions that will help us execute particular functions are also critical. Every organization may go for a particular software depending on the functionalities or that department, that unit, or that organization. These may include spreadsheet programs, database software, among others, depending on the nature of the organization or the department. So this diagram below is trying to summarize some of the activities or functionalities of MIS. So we've got the hardware, which houses the software, sets of instructions to perform particular functions, database, how data is managed and kept secured for years and years, procedures, who does what, passwords, and all the protocols being observed in the organization. Operating personnel, human resource, people, very critical, who must be qualified to manage the system. The input and output activities. Input may include typing, keying information to the computer, sorting, classifying, summarizing, and so forth. Communicating as an output activity or reporting. Medium and message. So these are the components or functionalities of MIS. So information may be classified as structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. In terms of decision making, we may have structured and semi-structured and unstructured. Then information may be obtained through transaction processing system, management information system, and decision support system. What are we talking about here? We are talking about information may be obtained in the format of this pyramid. Okay, at the bottom there it's broad, meaning we've got a lot of units feeding in information, and information may be summarized as a middle operation, tactical management, then very summarized for decision making and strategic management, and they may have just maybe 4 or 5 pages summarizing graphs, tables, and so forth. But at transactional or transaction processing level, we may have a number of activities taking place, people selling this and that, ATMs, ATM machines scattered all over Zambia, and people are withdrawing, buying airtime, buying Zesco units, buying water, and whatever those activities are taking place in those branches everywhere, and information is being collected. Then at tactical management, you've got branch managers or middle management there. They are trying to summarize and control what is happening at operational level. Then they feed to the topmost where decisions are made. That is decision support system. And then they make a strategic decision whether to continue for that, diversify, expand, or just change everything altogether. So on the other side, left-hand side, we are saying decisions that are made at operational level are very structured. The system does not bend, doesn't allow. If there is a password, no one will be allowed to enter unless through normal channels. If it's a no, it is a no. Semi-structured, there they can manipulate, change the password and so forth to lower level managers. In case they've forgotten a password and the like, someone higher can come in and advise. Then also at this level, there are certain things that may not well enshrined in the policy, and middle managers can preside over such issues and advise lower managers. However, there are certain things that are beyond middle managers, And those are decisions that can only be made by topmost managers. And these decisions, normally, we can say they may be unstructured. They may be unstructured. Long time ago, we used to do everything manually, meaning information may be captured from the secretarial or clerks and whatever manually in books, in files, and the files move from one point to another up to the topmost. And this time around, all these are computerized. In the manual way, we can have the logbook. Employees are coming in, reporting at 6, 7, 8. They are writing their names at the time they are reporting, then they sign, time they are checking out, they sign, and so forth throughout the year. In the modernized way, a system can be put on the entrance and someone checks, presses there, maybe with the ID card or any identification, then the system will capture, oh, Mr. So-so has logged in, Mr. So-so has logged out, Mr. So-so. Then the system is able to capture that information and summarize it per each and every employee, who is the most punctual, who knocks off early and so forth. That information is captured and managers can make a decision whether to promote that to on fire and so forth, basing on that information captured electronically. So these two are there, and people are moving from manual to the computerized way of managing information. Now let's look at the manual way. So here we have people are the recipients of every information. It has to go through people, not any system. Then the procedures are also there. Data is recorded by the people. And at each and every point, there must be somebody. If there is no one, information will not be captured. If there is no one to take the file from the registry to this manager, the file will ever be there. And individuals must be there, and you're going to have a lot of employees just to manage information in the organization, to manage data. So we have filing systems, the cabinet storing information, and files may be recorded or may be kept in some filing system, chronological order, numeric order, starting with 1 to the last number, or the last number to the latest, or in alphabetical order, and so forth. So some filing system is designed and is followed for tracing files in the organization. You may have 5,000 employees. How do you tell where Mr. Scalumbi is? So if the files are arranged in some alphabetical order, we go to S, then you see Mr. Scalumbi's file. If they are arranged in some numeric order, I have got the employee number, maybe 2256, so they go 222, where's 222, it's in the middle. They check for that number and they trace the file. Then they start processing. Then you've got reports that are generated manually, and the information is analyzed manually, and it's quite involving. What are the advantages and disadvantages of the manual way of doing things? So we've got these advantages. One's cost effective. You don't need to buy some computer, you don't need to buy some systems, some servers and so forth, which may be costly and which may be so involving setting them up as well as maintaining them. And we may not need qualified people to work on or to maintain those systems. So it's cost effective. However, you may pay more maybe to employ human resource, enough human resource in each and every station. It's very flexible because files, one person can handle maybe several things. It's very flexible, and issues can be handled as they are. You know, when you're using the system does not bend. but human beings may have feelings and opinions, and quickly they may say, I think this is as a result of this, and then a reason like that, and quickly make a decision. Now, what are the disadvantages of the manual way of handling information? One, it's time consuming, because individuals may be moving from one point to another. You may need transport in case there are several branches and so forth. And well, in a modernized way, you can use emails and so forth. And so it's time consuming because weekends, people may not work. During lunchtime, files will not move, but with the technology, files move via electronic means, whether on weekend, off working hours, and so forth. Prone to error. Errors may be committed by human beings due to repetitive entries that they are making. They may make an error, but computers are a bit accurate. They are very accurate. Lack of security, because as the file is moving, it's been exposed on the way, and offsoderies may check through and snap shares some pieces of literature, which may disadvantage the organization. Duplication of data which can be computerized and be done automatically. Individuals are repetitively doing that over and over again. Data inconsistency. This employee may enter like this, starting with numbers, others entering starting with letters and so forth. So inconsistency may be there. This one is using capital letters, the other one is using small letters and so forth. Lack of backups. In case there is fire, everything will be burnt in that office. But if information is saved electronically, fire will not touch. Let's look at the computerized information system. What are the advantages? So first, data processing and information retrieval. Click on the button of everything. You want this name, just type the name, then it will come. You want this number, type the number, it will come. Instead of searching the file, you are dusted, those files may have dust and so forth. So it's a cleaner way of managing information. Improved data accuracy is another advantage. There is high accuracy when I use the computer. Security, I may send information to the minister, to the president, whatever, straight without passing through another channel. So security is there. I may report to the vice chancellor, I may report to my manager using the system that is in place without allowing the office orderly, who is very junior, to handle that confidential file of sensitive information. You may reduce duplication of data because you may set the system as you wish it to be. Improved backup systems can use external hard drives among other backups, and also cloud computing. You can store information on cloud, and that will make your information safer, secure, which may be there for years and years. Ease access to information. You can access information on weekends, even on holidays, off working hours, wherever you are, just type into the system and you have that information. Now, what are the disadvantages? It's very expensive to set up some system, for you to buy the servers, for you to ensure that everything is working. It's quite expensive. You also need to pay or maybe hire qualified people to be maintaining the system. Heavy reliance on technology, meaning if the technology is affected, everything becomes paralyzed. Risk of fraud. You know, there are a lot of hackers who are trying to sabotage systems or siphon information, vital information in the organization, and they need to ensure that information is secure. So you need to buy anti-hackers and viruses and all these, and just invest heavily in data security. Otherwise, you may lose vital information. As we conclude, let's look at the qualities of good information. Characteristics of good information. One, information must be accurate. The information that is put on the system, that is vital to the organization, that is relevant to the organization, must be accurate, free from errors. Then that information will help in making decisions, and the decisions that will be made will help the organization. Completeness. Information that's being shared must be complete, not halfway. For informed decision making, information must be complete so that decision makers are well informed in full. Consistency. Last quarter, I said, no, we are at 10%. Then today we are saying we are at 8%. There must be consistency, okay? If the employees are 10, next quarter they are 5, and they're not reporting, if we fired some or some died, then information is not consistent. So consistency is key, okay, for decision making. Information that we are sharing, that we are reporting, that we are giving managers must be very unique. Many can write reports, but how different is your report? How good is your report? How different, you know, in the way you write, in the way you report, in the way you put information, in the way the layout and everything, how different are you? Okay, others may say, start with the brief introduction, background about what you are talking about, then details, give the details, challenges, success code, and maybe recommendations are put for management to contemplate on them and make a decision. So make sure that your reports, whatever you are writing, yes, many are the writings, but how unique are your writings? Timeliness. Information must reach relevant officers in time so that they have ample time to look at it, reflect on it, chew and rechew, and make informed decision. So let's send information in time. When they say submit by 12 hours, show that by 10 you are done. Be the earliest where possible. Appropriate. Information must be appropriate to the office, to the individual, the officer, the manager that you are sending that information to. How appropriate is this paragraph, that sentence, that item, those names you are adding, how appropriate are they to that unit where you're sending? So it's important that you look at these characteristics. And the last one is reliability. How reliable is this information? Did you just sit by the corner, jot that report and send it for the sake of registering that you have also reported? Or you did some consultation, or you reported according to what is on the ground? Many are the employees in the organization, but few can send reports, and those reports are deemed reliable by managers. Many reports, the judgment on certain reports may be based on how you are known in that organization by managers. How do you portray yourself, your behavior, your conduct, your commitment, and also your credibility, your intelligence, and the like. So the way when you're sending that report, people are judging you. And it's important that you come up with a more reliable report to the organization. So information that we are sending, one, must be accurate, complete, timely, appropriate, reliable, very, very, very important. Thank you so much for attending this presentation on MIS. And next time we'll continue with the next unit. God bless you. Thank you.